Hello dear friends, I am Deepak and I make these videos with this mission that IR theories become easier for you people. So whenever you read these editorial and articles, you don't have to get into so many nitty-gritties and details. Just find out the key theories and apply those accordingly. So whenever you read the editorial, you must ask certain questions from yourself, that who are the key actors and what are their stakes. When you read the editorial, you should have this orientation in your mind. Now, which theories or concepts provide adequate explanation for their behavior in global politics? How these actors are behaving, why they are behaving, what are their motives, what exactly they are going to get. And this we trace from the theoretical explanation. Now, what is the nature of international politics, political or economic system, as being discussed in the editorial? Which of the theoretical explanation is more suitable for the explanation of these development? So the author is going to focus on certain development. We have to ascertain, or we have to give our own assessment with the help of theoretical assumptions, that which theory is more suitable for the explanation purpose. Now, whenever you come across any editorial or article, you are going to find out that they are going to discuss some conflict or maybe some areas of cooperation and collaboration. They may discuss one challenge. They may tell us that why conflict is happening, why competition is happening, and they may also propose certain solution, that how can we initiate cooperation and collaboration. So for competition and conflict, you supposed to use a realist theory or Marxist approach. These are the most suitable approaches which reflect conflict and competition. So there was one question related to that, in which the question in which it was being asked that what are the assumptions which are equally applicable in realism as well as in Marxism. So it constant struggle for more and more accumulation of material power. Here they are considering actors like some kind of coalition of global capitalist, multinational corporation, transnational corporation. These are the key actors for them. Maybe some kind of social groups, social movements. These are the key actors as per the Marxist scholars. Here, states are most important for realist scholars. So you need to identify what are their stakes in the development taking place. Now, as you read this editorial, you are going to find out that certain new battleground of power have been emerging. And what are these? These are supply chains, trade routes, energy corridors, and technological ecosystems. Now, one thing you should understand, that when we are focusing on liberal thought or neoliberal thought, you are going to find out that these are the areas where we explore cooperation and collaboration. The clarion call for liberals is commerce breed peace. But now realists will say that you are talking about that commerce is breeding peace. But now here we are seeing that commerce turning into coercion. This is what has been discussed by Sashi Tharoor in this editorial, that commerce is turning into coercion, that weaponization of interdependence have been taking place. Here these scholars are focusing on interdependence. That is good, we can explore cooperation and collaboration, but realists are saying that no, we will not let you enjoy this interdependence like this. We are going to weaponize it whenever we need to serve our own self interest, our own national interest. This is the key arguments you should be focusing upon. Now there is also interlinkage of corporate strategy and national security, and this dimension you can explore the international political economy approach. And for that, Marxist explanation is very much suitable, that it is the interest of international, or what we say global capitalism, or global coalition of capitalists, which is having so much to say in international politics. So it is the corporate interest which is creating this dynamic or whatever development taking place in international politics. Now, in new world order, competition with regulatory regimes, infrastructure networks, and a capacity to influence global production. This is what exactly is happening here. Competition is happening. Even the areas where we are finding the cooperation and collaboration, we are finding competition here. Again, conflict and competition. So, realists will focus on competition and conflict. Now, here are the neoliberal thinkers. They say that commerce breeds peace. How? That trade naturally fosters cooperation and shared prosperity. However, neoliberals thinkers will differ from this. They say that we have to put certain efforts to create that cooperation. That is why we create international regimes, international organizations, so that behavior can be regulated properly. Now, Marxist theorists will say that whatever you agreements or these kind of arrangements you are making, these are going to serve only the interest of global south, global north, and there is going to be exploitation of global south. So when you are talking that there is going to be some kind of technology transfer, partnership, kind of partnership which is going to benefit the global south, no, it's not going to happen. They will say that only. Now, for the argument purpose, Shashi Tharoor is saying that we need to have more trade agreements, technology partnership, and supply chain diplomacy. So we consider that these are the functional areas as per the functionalism, theory of functionalism, which is also part of sociological liberalism. That we must develop or consolidate our cooperation in these functional areas. And when we consolidate it, the political areas where we are having conflict is going to get decreased ultimately. This is the key argument of functionalism. And the key slogan is building peace by pieces. So when we are building peace by consolidation of cooperation in these areas, we are going to achieve larger cooperation at regional level, as we see in European Union and ASEAN. And the concept of spillover. So when we consolidate the cooperation in this area, it is going to get penetrate into more crucial and more, what we say, areas of high politics, where stakes of nation states are more and more conflictual and contesting. Now we can explore the social constructivism, but in case of this editorial, it is not prominent as such. Now these developments are taking place, which we can link with the international economic order. You need to understand that clearly. So what exactly is happening? So there is profound transition is happening in the architecture of global trade. So earlier, what was there? There was certain kind of multilateralism, WTO. So this particular arrangement is kind of weakening, because the key actor USA, it is using tariffs. Tariff war is going on. Unilateralism, disregarding the multilateral platforms. Now this is creating lots of challenge. What exactly is happening when this challenge is coming forth? That nations are turning to flexible bilateral and regional arrangements. It is happening. It is not good, but it is happening. That states are creating such kind of coalitions and custom tailored economic arrangement. These two points are interrelated. So economic ties are being repurposed as instrument of strategic leverage, that I would call weaponization of interdependence. When we identify that they are dependent on us for certain things, we are going to impose certain export controlling mechanism. We are going to put some kind of restrictions to make the export more problematic for them. So it is using economic ties as an instrument of strategic leverage. This is what China is doing by putting export control mechanism on rare earth minerals. So economic diplomacy is one of the organizing principle of foreign policy. Now you have to indulge in economic diplomacy to sail through these developments: tariff, export control, carbon, rare earth, supply chain restrictions, energy dependencies, and weaponization of interdependence. This is what exactly is happening when economic ties are repurposed as instrument of strategic leverage. A kind of coercion, commerce turning into coercion. This is what Sashi Tharoor says. Scramble over critical minerals. Global trading system. This is what we have already discussed. So this is happening, and how we are prepared. Now author is discussing about that what exactly are the challenges for India, and how India is responding to it, and what India can do, and what are the possible opportunities for India, and what potential it has. These are the dimensions which have been discussed by Sashi Tharoor. So what are the challenges to India? Interdependence can expose vulnerabilities, that we are dependent on one or two actors. They can exploit it, they can cripple our economy if they address it, if they assess it, if they see it. So that is weaponization of interdependencies. Over reliance on any single partner. Suppose if we are showing over reliance on one particular partner, let's say EU or USA, they can put certain kind of tariff on us when we are overly dependent on them. This is what USA is doing now. They are putting tariff on us when we are having certain kind of trade arrangement with Iran or Russia. So we need to have certain kind of economic partnership where we can diversify our economic engagement. So when we are showing over reliance on any single partner for technology, market, or minerals, this creates vulnerabilities, and that can be exploited, that can be weaponized. Now what is the challenge for us? To build a diversified portfolio of economic relationship that enhances India's autonomy. So we need to exercise strategic autonomy. And how can we do that? When we have diversified portfolio, that we can engage with several economic partners without being relied on one particular partner. That is essential for us. Now what are the opportunities and potentiality of India in this evolving scenario? We should be understanding this. So India's strength align with the world's strategic needs. Now what exactly is happening in the world? That interdependencies have been weaponized. Now it is opening certain opportunities for us, that we can become active partner to create certain kind of coalitions where we can be trusted, where we can be accepted as a trusted partner. So this is essential. This is reflecting certain kind of opportunities for us, because India's scale, economic scale, stability, reforms, trajectory enhances its strategic importance in global politics. We have that potential. We are that market. We have that democratic system, institutions at place. We are reliable partner, and this reflect that this is a welcome gesture to everyone, that you can come and you can have trade with us. Its large market for growth potential, stability for building trust, openness for absorbing investment is commendable. Domestic reforms are happening, and they are giving good signals to all the actors that you can come, you can invest, and you can thrive, you can flourish with us. That digitization is happening, infrastructure expansion is happening, and we are doing targeted deregulation. And what exactly is happening because of that? That transaction costs are being lowered, and it improved predictability and made easier for global firms to build long-term capacities. This is what we are offering to the world. We are becoming attractive destination for investment, for having economic ties. And there is, we are evolving a China plus alternative, that we can also evolve as a manufacturing hub. When other countries are investing in China as one of the significant destination for global value chains, we can also emerge as one of the important alternative. When China is using or coercing other actors by exploiting their interdependencies, the geopolitical recalibration around China has created a structural demand for alternative production system, and there we fit properly. India has the capacity with the labor force, political stability, and market depths to meet that demand. Now, first, for the first time in liberalization, the global economy is not merely inviting India to participate, it is seeking actively that India play a larger role. This is the potential we have. Now, how India is responding to these developments? India is shaping its relationship with major powers through economic security along with the traditional geopolitics. This is what exactly we are doing. We are also creating certain kind of coalition based on our national interest. This is being reflected how we are indulging with USA. India is weaving economic resilience into its foreign policy through semiconductor collaborations, critical mineral partnership, defense industrial co-production, and digital public infrastructure. This is what we are doing. Now through PEX Silica, we are having critical mineral partnership, and we recently had EU India free trade agreement. And for industrial defense industrial co-production, we are having certain collaboration with French government for developing Rafale fighter plane. Now India is seeing trade agreements, technology partnership, and supply chain diplomacy as central instrument of statecraft. This is how we are evolving. This is how we are diversifying our portfolio and consolidation for exercising our strategic autonomy. And this reflects the neoliberal outlook. Now, what is the way forward? What should be done? And these are the suggestions given by the author. India should adopt a pragmatic approach to foreign policy, placing greater emphasis on economic resilience and diversification. Economic resilience is related to enhancing the power, national power. This is the reflection of self-help, that no one will come to help you. You have to develop your own capacity. Economic resilience and diversification. You should not rely on one particular actor. You should have multiple collaborations. This is the part of the strategy. This reflects pragmatic approach. India must strike a balance, deepening integration without surrendering strategic space, attracting investment without becoming dependent on it. To anchor global supply chains, India must continue improving logistic, regulatory clarity, and workforce skills. This is related to economic emphasis on economic resilience. We have to develop our own capacity, our own domestic uh, ecosystem, which reflect that we have this economic resilience. To secure critical minerals, it must build resilient partnership abroad and sustainable extraction policies at home. We have to develop a kind of balance in these two dimensions. To maintain credibility as a democratic alternative in the world of authoritarian efficiency, world of authoritarian efficiency means where China is, you know, exploring efficiency through its authoritarian practices in domestic policies. Here we are emerging as democratic alternative. It must ensure that economic growth is matched by institutional strength and social cohesion. We must reflect that we are reliable, we are peace-loving nation, and we create this kind of reliability. So these were the way forward, and you should use these while you are writing your answers. You reflect the theoretical dimension, which is going to enhance the effectiveness in your answer. Thank you, dear friends.